Okay, so you stand with Ukraine. Great. But here's a reminder. Supporting the people does not require you to support their politicians. Supporting peace for the Ukrainian people is not the same as supporting all of the actions of President Zelenskyy. And if you disagree, I want you to look at what Zelenskyy has been doing for the past few days and ask yourself, is this a man who is ready for peace? Does calling your enemy a killer and a terrorist repeatedly on live TV show that you're ready for peace?
War because he's a killer and terrorist, but I hope that together we can stop him.
Does telling your most powerful ally that their sons and daughters will be sent to go die show that you're ready for peace?
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight. Because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
Does announcing to the whole world that you're very, very far away from the end of this war show that you're ready for peace? Does cursing under your breath while talking to an ally that you're asking for help and dropping F-bombs or worse show that you're ready for peace? Does any of this seem like an effective way for a leader who is in a weak position to make peace? Now, make no mistake. Zelenskyy is a hero for staying in Kiev as Putin bombed it in 2022. But even a hero can hurt his own cause. And the more power that hero has, the greater the risk. And Zelenskyy's become more powerful in the last 3 years. Here's how. Elections have been postponed until effectively the war is over. Zelenskyy banned 11 political parties that he deemed pro-Russian, including the biggest opposition party. Citizens are being forced to fight in a war being waged by a politician that they can't remove until the war is over. The government introduced Article 436-2 into the criminal code, criminalizing what they consider media justification of Russian aggression. And keep in mind, now that there is war, Zelenskyy's approval is high. But before, it was very low. Zelenskyy had a 31% approval rating in December 2021, right before Russia invaded in February 2022. The Ukrainian government was considered the second most corrupt in Eastern Europe, with only Russia considered more corrupt. Western media regularly criticized them. But since Putin invaded, Western media has flipped to being almost exclusively supportive. Now, in fairness, Ukraine declared martial law, and existential crises require extreme measures. And the polls show that 81% of Ukrainians support not holding elections until after the war. So you don't need to assume Zelenskyy is corrupt, but he has strong incentives not to make peace, especially considering he's fighting a war with money that isn't his. Look, I'm willing to take him at face value when Zelenskyy says he wants peace. But insulting your enemy and your most important ally doesn't create peace. Demanding that your enemy pay for everything doesn't create reconciliation.
Putin began this war, he has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay.
Putin started this war. Zelenskyy is leading a nation that is under attack. His outrage is understandable. He sees himself as morally right and Putin wrong. But it is often those who are most focused on how right they are that end up doing the most wrong. Even a hero's judgment can be clouded by his emotions, because emotional leaders can struggle to make peace. Morality matters, but power demands practicality. And by alienating both his enemy and his primary ally, both of which are more powerful than him, Zelenskyy is preventing peace. So next time you say you stand with Ukraine, ask yourself, which Ukraine? The politicians who decide or the people who die?